It's going to be an interesting race, this one. If the qualifying session for the Dunlop Series was the form guide, Chad Naylon joins me for this race. And you picked the best one to join me with because we're going to reverse the whole grid for race number 3.
The entire grid. Good old-fashioned reverse grid racing. And then we throw in a bit of a handicap system just to make it even tougher for the fast guys to get to the front. It now looks like this with Peter Griffiths and Ruth Bowler, who's in one of the more old-school body shapes, towards the front. Charlotte Pointing. It's actually put a lot of the girls towards the front. Emma Clark having a great weekend so far. And Brad Eastman, who slipped off the racetrack in the first race, will start outside row 5.
Over the page, Grant Thompson and Ben Wilcox, Jeff Waters and Glenn McNamara. The 14-year-old Zach Best starts out of 16, so about the middle where he was for his first 2 races. Down to Blake Scaberis and Adam Casuccio down in 20th. We start to head towards some of the names that were at the pointy end of the field. Ludby Sultana down to Miles Bond, Tucker and Pingle. We saw Tucker's car have the front end torn off during that race today, and then we go to Kel Trester and Ben Walsh. Now, Young and Dunstan will be off the back this one. Dunstan had that issue with her car earlier today. We'll start off the back of the field.
So we did have a staller at the beginning of race 2 with Charlotte Pointing in her first race meeting. It's okay when you go stalling on the grid at the back. You do not want to be making an error like that at the front, but it should be a staggered start as well, which if you do make a mistake like that, shouldn't have Carl Reindler-esque consequences. But yes, it's not what you want to see, a car stalled on the grid with a whole pack behind you.
Some of our onboard cameras today, Blake Scaberis, the Western Sydney Motorsport, car number 68, will carry one of our onboards. Bought plenty of awesome pictures over the first 2 races this weekend at the WD-40 Phillip Island Super Sprint. We jump on the Hertz entry of Chris Stevenson. Car number 88 will start out of 17th for this race. A whole wall of traffic ahead of him.
So Benny Walsh picked up a couple of race wins so far this weekend, but now he has to do it from last, then some with the extra gap that'll be built up on the handicap. So it's going to be a ripping drive if you get to the front of this one, Matt. All those drivers that were slipstreaming and racing hard, putting on a show in races 1 and 2 this weekend will be at the back, and they will come clawing through this field. Go looking for one of the big names towards the front. It's hard to find one that would stick out. Maybe Rinkin could be a favourite here. Should have a good grid spot off the 4th row if that car's okay after the earlier crash.
We saw that car pull up on the exit of Siberia early in race number 2 to look down the Gardner Straight. It's a long drop down. Bass Straight's the only view you see because the racetrack disappears fairly quickly from the start line onwards. So the conditions just getting a little bit brighter out of our commentary position here on the main straight. There is Ruth Bowler, front row start.
4 ladies in the field, front row for Ruth. Needs to be calm, make sure you get a good start. There's the fast guys at the back, including the Dr. Ink tattoo removal car that's won 2 so far this weekend, along with the other guys, Trent Young and co. We are set just about with the last cars pulling up. It's a big old grid, 30+ cars ready to go.
So don't get shocked when you see half the field remain there as we wait for the lights to go out for the first group of cars. Bowler and Griffiths bring up the revs. They will disappear down towards the first corner before we let loose with the next group. But a few have decided to go early here.
A couple have forgotten the rules and have launched off the back.
That looked like Blues going through the shot.
Maybe it was Harley Haber. Hard to tell from the bridge shot. The second group's off and running now, but that'll be a difficult one for race control to sort out. Still waiting for the last group. Trent Young did go early off the back row, got a little bit excited.
5 seconds would feel like an eternity when you see the rest of the field disappear. Here comes the pointy in the field, doing it from the rear for this time. It's Duckworth to take this group while the rest of the field are heading down to turn number 4.
Bond around the outside. Pingle goes even higher. That's not going to work.
Or is it?
That's amazing. He picks up 2 in the 1 corner on the high line. That is the fastest way around turn 1 today if you want to get some moves done.
Just pulled it up. Uber Gang will slot in behind this group of cars as they work their way through Southern Loop. Here's the leading group coming down to Siberia for the first time, and Ian Shivers in car number 6 will lead us around. It's Chapman second, back to Griffiths and Bowler. Here comes the second group of cars now.
Yeah, not a great start for Ruth Bowler, then she's been picked up by a B6 or 7G Siberia up the inside. That's video game stuff from Chris Stevenson in the Hertz car. He picks up like 4 or 5 cars in 1 corner. Tell you what, Siberia is living up to its name today. It's breezy, it's cool. One going slowly and picked up by a few cars through the hay shed.
Is that Clues? Maybe dropping back after jumping the start, perhaps. He did pass about 1,800 cars from the start line, so there could be more to it.
Trying to go back to the group which he was meant to be racing with. Potentially right there, Matt. Or Duckworth has body rubbing on the right front tyre. This is busy. Got Woods in the Hertz car with Young, Tressida, trying to sort it out down at MG. And doing a pretty good job of it, I might add.
He had his ears boxed, didn't he? Across the top of Lukey Heights. Through they come. This is the guys at the back. They're outside the top 20 at the moment. Through goes the leading group, headed by Lee Bowler now. Run forward Blake Scaberis, running back in 18th position. A lot of cars ahead here as we start lap number 2.
How's the toe? It's a big old slipstream down the front straight. It just runs out of breath a little bit though, the Yamaha motor. Oh, that's brave and very nearly makes contact at a very fast part of the track. Got away with it. Heating up though, first lap down. Fast guys trying to claw their way to the front.
You've got to be so committed to turn number 1, don't you? Here they come, down to turn number 4. So Bowler, Chapman, Thompson and Shivers.
Yeah.
And not surprised to see a couple of penalties being handed out. That's the triple one. Casuccio coming in.
Easy for you to say, Matt.
Apparently it wasn't. down to Siberia we go. Expect the faster guys to lock horns very soon with the leading pack currently. I do like this system. Sometimes it's been polluted by safety cars and whatnot.
Michael Caruso-esque movement there on the gear shifts. Short, sharp. Scaberis moves to the inside of his teammate through the hay shed. Not quite going to happen there. It's Craig Thompson up the road here. Car gets light across the top of Lukey Heights. Thompson just swerving around, trying to find the grip. Definitely holding Scaberis up a little bit. Diving under brakes down the inside. That's a good move. That's Griffith.
It is Griffith. We start up towards the front. This is action further back. There's Shivers, who led the race for a few corners anyway. Kind of a 6 back in 9th spot. And contact.
It's Duckworth.
It is
up
Duckworth.
The inside.
That's Renken. That was Renken that gave him the touch up through there on the 52. Very similar.
Yeah.
The Musselbrook Nissan sponsored car. Down to 1. The lead group swing on by. There's Chapman in the 25, moving up to 2nd, and potentially going to challenge for the lead here, but on the wrong side of cool down at Southern Loop.
Yeah, so Thompson now, the new leader. Chapman right in there. Lee Bowler was leading that last lap, so we saw Ruth Bowler on pole position. Lee Bowler led that lap, got put back to 3rd. Eastman's going with them here in the 55. That's the Mustang. A couple of different body shapes here on display. A couple of Mustangs. The Nissan and the old AU Falcon. Green-eyed monster, bit of lounge-esque look about that.
Bit of a return to the form as the leaders head down to turn number 4. Let's head down to pit lane. Cameron Vanendungen.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty for Adam Casuccio, mate. What happened?
Well, actually, as we come around the corner, I lost, it looks like on the 4th cylinder. So it looks like we're going to have to call it a day today and put a new engine in and go back tomorrow.
Hard luck, mate.
You get that?
So not the first car to drop a cylinder. Matty Dunstan did the same thing as we saw Shivers be dispatched down at the hairpin. There's Adam Ubergang. Thanks to Cameron in pit lane for that update. The climb to Lukey Heights, approaching the half-race distance mark.
Great part of the racetrack, the hay shed. Fast and flowing. You can fit 2 or 3 wide. Now, what happened here down at Honda?
On his own.
Yeah, locked the rears. That's a shame. He was leading at one point, Shivers, but off down at turn 4 is... Wow, Ben Walsh is locked up in a battle with Miles Bond. Oh,
here they come.
Bit of a tap, bit of a push. Some body parts bouncing through the middle of the racetrack as well.
Now, the leading group are inside the top 20 now, looking at this. Up to 14th is Pingle and about 10 other cars, yeah.
Pingle got an absolute blinder of a start, and he is the big winner out of all this. He's got the toe here, Pingle in behind Thompson. And they're all slipstreaming and dicing for position down towards turn 1.
It's Walsh moving down the inside of one of the Western Sydney cars. Duckworth also in the mix. And Miles Bond sitting at the back, waiting to attack in the Tonsley Smash Repairs, car number 7. Oh, we're 4 wide, Chad.
Yes. And they get through in typical Aussie racing style.
That was a cool shot.
How they managed to fit that through. That was excellent driving from everyone to square off through turns 2, down towards turn 3.
This is amazing. on board from Skiberis through one. Watch them all fan out here. So they're saluting the crowd already.
That is awesome. He had the best seat in the house to watch them fan out down at the Southern Loop. Here we go on the way back to Siberia. Keltressida getting racing, wants to get a wriggle on. Qualified on the front row, second in both the races so far. He's got a car with a broken rear diffuser ahead of him.
Let's remind ourselves, this is 19th position they're arguing over at the moment.
Yeah, but they've got to be quick about it. They need to move forward. 5 to go. There's still a chance for a top 10 if they get a wriggle on. Stevenson, we ride on board with him. AU really struggling for grip ahead of him.
Right down the middle of the track at MG. So he tries to switch back, but he's given the wrong side on the change back here into turn 10, 11 into 12. The leading group just ahead, so Zach Best is leading this race now. The 14-year-old ahead of Sultana. Both these guys debutants in this year's Aussie Racing Car Super Series. Can he hold on?
Tell you what, it says a lot about karting, doesn't it? The racecraft you learn in karting. This is the kind of race where it pays to know what it's like to be in a frantic battle with about 30 other young drivers pushing and shoving at 200 Ks. The fight for the lead is on.
And Sultana now takes us through turn 1, takes the lead off Zach Best. Thompson will stay third. Working lap 5 of 8 here. We're our lead guys. Walsh is up to 12th position now. Pingle's ahead of him. Moment there as they come out of Southern Loop, and how he held him, we will never know.
But he'll lose second, starting to sprinkle, and I think that's the report out of pit lane, and that could also be why we saw that little moment at the loop. You just don't know where the grip is. Look at this pack, it's getting heated down at turn 4. They're all on top of each other. It's a 20-car race for the lead. It's just ridiculous, and it was always going to end in tears for at least 1 or 2 guys. Oh, yeah, it had to be expected. Multi-car pile-up.
And it's Harley Haber in there as well. Tressida just got through it all. Lee Bowler is in there. It's a clearance sale down at turn 4.
It'll be a safety car is what it'll be.
There's a fire too.
Big one. Huge fire to the left front. There's no point going on with that one. Although Griffith is going to give it a go. He's trying to get it over to where the fireys are, I'd have a guess.
Very quickly too.
He is seriously on fire. He's trying to put it out on the grass, maybe. Wet grass could have done the trick, you know.
Lexus safety car has come out. This is the first. The fire still on at the front of the car. Here's the 91 of Griffiths.
He's a big lad too, Mark, so it takes a while, as you can see.
Shoehorns his way out.
Fireys are on the scene. He did a good job to get that car into a position where it could be put out. It's probably started with the brakes. And he's letting everyone know that he's okay.
It was brewing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You could see it coming down the Gardner Straight, and it just exploded down there at turn number 4. So the safety car comes out with 3 laps to go here at Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit.
Well, what was the match that started this bushfire? Hard to tell. Gee, Ben Walsh had a wild moment, managed to keep it together on the outside. 4 or 5 cars with a little bit of a knock. That was the moment there. Gee, you know what? It could have been off the bumper of Pingle. Pingle might have been a part of the beginning of that accident.
Poor Lee Bowler got the touch up front and back. Look at the fire coming out the 91.
Well, he's sponsored by Hog's Breath Cafe.
It's got a bit of well done.
Bit of a flame grill going on. Tell you what, he did a really good job. He's in no man's land there. That fire is not going to get any better, that's for sure. So he's moved the car over to where the fireys are, whilst on fire. Check it out. That's a decent inferno he's got happening under that thing.
Let alone how hot his feet would have been getting down the foot box.
He had to shoehorn himself out of the thing afterwards. He must be driving that thing with his knees around his ears. He's a big lad, Mark. He fits nicely in the big AMG GT3.
That's fine.
In the GT Championship, but these little micro machines, a different story.
Meantime, while that was going on, Kyle Clue served his pit lane penalty at the right time.
Oh, he's timed that well. So it's Sultana from Best. So Sultana managed to get back to the lead despite that big tank slapper. Best in second, on for his personal best. And that's looking a bit sorry, isn't it? Bit of a crab walk going on. It's punched in that radiator.
Yeah. There's cool conditions here, but that's not going to help him.
And Lee was leading this race at one point.
Rear torn out of the car as well. So The good news, if there is anything to come out of this, is they don't race until late tomorrow afternoon, so a lot of time to repair the damage to the cars we have seen, because there's a few from race number 2 this morning that have been left licking their wounds. A lot of band-aid jobs have gone on just to get the cars out here for this third race.
It does mean it's the end of the race, though. There was no way we were ever going to see the green flag after that one. So the next flag will be the checkers. It will end the race at the end of this lap behind the Lexus safety car, which is an unfortunate thing to see because it was really building. Pingle got to 4th off the back. He's passed nearly 30 cars.
It's incredible.
Which is a huge effort, showing why he is the champ. Trying to become the first driver, Matt, to go back-to-back in the championship in 13 years. So it's going to be a karting 1-2 here.
Do you think Zach Best might be thinking, oh, what, I let him through?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, his best result ever in his very short career in the Aussie racing cars.
Makes Alex Rulo look old.
It does. Makes me look old.
Well.
Goes without saying, really. Lights will go at the Lexus RCF safety car.
Yeah, so safety car will pull back in, but we'll get the checkers here. There shouldn't be any passing, but you never really know as to what's going to happen here.
Been caught out before with races, haven't they? They've come around and got a green flag suddenly. Caught us all hopping.
It was an awkward start, wasn't it, with the staggered handicap system catching 1 or 2 drivers out. And Lexus safety car will pull back into the pits. Checkered flag should be this time, so it should, underline the word should, finish in this order. But with these guys, with a 14-year-old in second position, you never really know what they're going to try.
We're both holding back here.
Yeah, let's just see what happens here.
They cruise on down.
Double file restarts. You've got to love them. It won't be a full-on restart here. We should get the checkers. And everyone's just cooling their heels across the finish line.
World's slowest finish to a race anyway, and they all behaved right to the finish line.
That's the only time I've seen a safety car come out and it didn't actually compress the field. It actually spread the field out. The safety car, they're all right on top of each other. That was entertaining. Driver of the race has to be Brendan Pingle. Started just about on the last row and fought his way to the front, finishing 4th. Congratulations to Dave Sultana, breaking through for a win. Zach Best, wow.
And it took him 4 races to get a win, but well done anyway. Down to Ludby and Thompson, Ben Walsh, Miles Bond, Adam Ubergang, Curl Tressiter, Jeff Waters was 14th, Craig Woods, Emma Clark, best result, 18th spot, Brad Eastman in 19th, and Ruth Bowler would finish in 20th.
Yeah, from 1st to 20th, it was a bit of a backwards job, that one. Ian Shivers after that spin down in 23rd. Clues, unfortunately, with that drive-through penalty, and plenty of tales of woe towards the back.